All right, guys. Welcome to Texas Gulf Surfer, episode 27.
Man, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Jeff Dinacola, your Texas Surf Ambassador, man. How about that? Man, this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about Texas surfing and surfing in general. Before we get started, let me see what we got. I've got to introduce my co-host. He's like a human firecracker. He is always popping off. King of Surfside, Austin Campbell.
Right
Give
on.
it up for him, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
What's going on, brother?
Man, well, I guess the surf hadn't been popping off. Has it?
No, but before we go any further, a blanket apology. I had a sinus infection. My voice is barely hanging in there. In fact, I lost my voice for 2 days, and many people were happy about that, by the way. But it is back, and we're going to get
Just
through
in
the
time,
show.
just in time for the show.
Right, so it worked out perfect. You know, I think we're happy and positive because we got some movement in the Gulf of Mexico. At least it doesn't look like a bloody Lake Michigan, right?
It's we got some east wind, which
There
has
you
been
go.
a long time since we had. You know, this morning I woke up and walked my dog. Man, it was like took Albert for a walk, not Albert Brown.
Right. You
Albert,
should have taken him too.
Albert the dog, but sometimes you got to take Albert for a walk too, Albert
yeah,
Brown.
That's
But
a good thing to do, man.
But yeah, so it felt like fall, right?
Right, it's in the air.
Right, felt nice. So then, man, we had some east wind blowing. So when we got down to
Right.
Beach Drive, when I was walking down Beach Drive, there was some surf. I don't know if I want to call it surf. It looked more like lake chop, right? But
Yeah.
I think everybody was so desperate that there was people out there surfing. Everybody was going over to some people were going over to Quintana.
It's true.
And Quintana.
I don't call it the Q because I don't know. Isn't
Quint-
it just a
Quint-
letter in the alphabet? I call it Quintana.
Quintana.
Could be wrong.
See, I think that
Uh,
I think I've been here so long, and I'm like from Texas, so we always call it Quintana.
Truth is, me and Gil Romero loaded up our boards. We moseyed over there to Quintana. I'm going with that. And then Gary Carter was over there, Pimp Curtis Gray, of course, Johnny Rescue McGee, and they were riding their share of waves. It was not flat. It wasn't great. There was jellyfish. The reason I didn't go in is because they were getting bit all over by
The
jellyfish.
east wind should do
Yeah.
a little better there, but I think it was so east that it was still kind of going around the jetties a little bit still, right? It wasn't very clean.
It wasn't. Man, they're doing work on that pier. That thing's out there another 60
Yeah,
feet,
it's
man. It's
getting,
got
and there's going to be like
potential.
there's going to be like a T head, right? Isn't there a T head?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be. I would say, I think this morning we were talking. I said I think it's going to be an easty winter with a lot of
I agree.
Quintana because
Yeah, I agree with you.
it's. I mean, that was a weird little east thing we had, without like a front or anything, a little, early in the
It's
season.
true. We usually don't see the east northeast prevailing winds that we get through the fall a little bit later, but we're
Right.
getting them, man. So we may be getting an early fall. But I think in general, people are just kind of happy that there's movement. They're looking at the cams and hey, at least we got some opportunities coming towards us, don't we? What's the forecast?
So it looks like there's going to be knee to waist high chop all week, and then if the forecast holds, it's going to show that this weekend there should be some man, it's showing like 3 to 4 foot. I don't know if that's going to be true. That's that's in Port Aransas because we were talking about the contest. So,
right.
And then
it's on call, the TGSA
Yeah.
contest in Port Aransas, so they're predicting waves even down
so
there.
it looks like if that thing's correctly, but it's so far away. We won't know exactly.
We don't know.
Same thing in Surfside. It's looking at like maybe 3 foot. So they're saying there's gonna be surf. We'll see how the weather's. I was looking at the wind. I think we've talked about it before in the forecast. I like to look at like some of the other like the Weather Channel's wind. So I was looking at the Weather Channel's wind, and it looks like it's gonna kind of up and down, and then towards the end of the week maybe pick up a little bit again. So if that east wind, and it's definitely showing not clean conditions. Right, so there's going to be surf. So do we, do they call the contest on? Because
It's hard to say. I never thought I would say this, but we've just had such a run of flat spell here that
if there's any surf, you might have to do it.
choppy surf actually sounds okay to me about now.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the
This little
forecast,
wave
I
surf.
think that's pretty much up from the whole coast. It looks about the same. Like there's possibility of this weekend being, 3 to 4 foot, and then but choppy. So it looks like we're getting that east wind blowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
there you go, kids, man. Get the cobwebs off your board. It's on again.
yeah,
But we're
just get out
starting
there
to surf again.
If you haven't surfed in so long, and it's
Yeah.
if it's like 3 foot chop, there's going to be a few waves out there, especially if you're jonesing for some surf,
Yes,
man. So why not?
absolutely.
You got to get out there.
Yes.
I
we're-
mean,
whether you go on either side of the jetty, I suspect it's going to be better over there in Quintana.
Yeah, probably on the other side because that east,
I got to ask Adam the proper pronunciation of
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Sounds
always
like an Indian word, Quintana.
I'm going to say it's Quintana. That's just because
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, and that's what we called it when I was a kid. We called it,
Well, I'm sticking with that.
you know,
That's,
over there.
that's why it's always going to be the Gulf of Mexico to me. Sorry,
We-
maybe I'm not politically correct, but
yeah,
it's Gulf of Mexico.
that's
man.
what I think. And
I'm
also,
going with it.
we just a lot of people just call it the Q. It's the QU.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
kidding. Shout out to the QUs over there. Anyways,
Man, but
so
I think we're up on everything as far as reporting. The women's event that's coming up in
yeah, that's
October.
coming. That's coming up. That's going to be a good thing. The contest, we got lots of contests coming up. So
A lot of that's happening. When's the refresh my memory, man? The Old Guy Surf Reunion.
that is going to be October the 4th. Is that correct?
Wow, that will come up on us pretty quick. Making a note of that. How about
Yep.
that, man?
So that's coming up real quick. I will say that let me make sure. I've been so busy doing other stuff.
No, I don't want to quote the date wrong. I do know that October 25th is the Women's International Surfing Association Gala fundraiser at the Surf Museum. Be there.
Yeah, and they're having the Surfside Beach 50th anniversary
Right from unincorporating
from
or
being incorporated as a city.
Incorporated.
Yep. So it's the 50th anniversary. And-
Lots going on, my man.
Yeah. So that I didn't know they were throwing that party for me for my birthday. I just found out, but that sounds like it should be fun.
Yeah. Can you imagine them doing all that for you? Well,
Oh,
you are
man.
the king of Surfside, so we
But
got to go with that.
so yeah, let's see.
Well, give me the horizon, the forecast. A wise one.
So I think that it looks like there's going to be a chance of some surf this weekend. It looks like so everybody get out.
Cool. I'll be here.
If we man, if haven't been fortunate enough to go tanker surfing, you probably haven't surfed in a while.
No, I surfed over the weekend, tanker surfing. We kind of tossed around whether we wanted to talk about this or not because it's kind of a treasured secret, but not really. I mean, it's been in movies. It's a pretty well-known fact that there is cargo ship and a tanker ship surfing in the Galveston Bay. And Austin and I have been blessed to do it a handful of times with some real pros. And, man, did we learn some lessons, man.
I feel like it's when the first, definitely the first time, and we're not like there's people that've been doing it for a long time and been out a bunch of times,
30 years, some of them.
and they've been doing it, way more than us.
Yep.
And but I think if you go out a few times with the right people,
Right.
and they really, explain to you what you have to do before you even get out there, because it's definitely not something like
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend. And I used to tell this to people before I ever went. Is I used to tell people, man, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody who's a novice surfer.
I agree
I think
completely.
that you should be.
I agree completely.
I think you should be, a close to an expert surfer. And I don't know what we want to consider expert surfer, but you should be
Certainly
experienced.
advanced.
You should be an advanced, experienced surfer.
No, and you're 100% right, Austin. A lot of people will look at videos of this wave and think, oh, it's just this long, slow, mushy wave. Let me tell you something. The logistics that go into that and how difficult that wave is and really dangerous. We're going to touch on some of those things tonight. The do's and the don'ts and the reason why you want to get a pro and charter if you ever want to try it. But if you think about it, my man, it's half of the surfers, the shortboarders, you're eliminated right away. Unless you're proficient on the longboard, you are not going to catch that wave. Am I wrong?
I would say there's a few guys that could probably catch it on like a shorter board, like a mid-length board. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And probably the more skilled, smaller guys that surf, right?
Right.
And so
KP could probably do it.
yeah, KP could do it. And I think he said he's ridden his smaller board on there.
Right.
And maybe Stubby or something like that.
Right.
And but I would say you are going to have to maybe work a little more. And there's some waves that were big enough for it. I would say for sure. Like a few of
Right.
the waves, they were definitely big enough to ride the shortboard.
Yes.
The long waves, so I had one that was a mile long, right?
Yes, he did. It was witnessed, and
So
it was great.
Yeah, so that we did all the calculations. So it was like 4 minutes and 40 something seconds or something like
It
that.
was truly epic and something to witness and to see. But it's daggum tricky wave. And I'm telling you, you get such a small opportunity in just, you only get so many chances to do this while you're out there. So that's why I'm saying get the longest board that you can, because if you miss that booger, there's a bunch of things we'll talk about that happens if you miss it.
Yeah, I would say like having the right board is important. I think
No
having,
doubt.
I think, there's always a chance of damaging your board going in
Yes.
and out of the boat, right?
100%.
Not really anywhere else. I mean, there's chances of, we'll talk about some of the dangers in a minute, but there's definitely some risks of damaging your board getting in and out of the boat. That being said, I would say for me, take a board that you are familiar with and you like to ride, right? So, and just, I mean, if you get a ding, get it fixed. Find somebody who fixes dings.
Yes, yeah,
But,
definitely.
But no, really, I would say take a board that you're familiar with, that you
Yes.
like to ride. Whatever your favorite longboard is. Because like the first time we went, I rode a board that was similar to what I normally ride, but it wasn't the same kind of board. Like I always ride a poly longboard, 50/50 rails. About a 9.7, something like that.
Right,
And so I took
right.
that Tough Light, and it was so floaty for me, which is probably good maybe for some people.
Right.
But it was so floaty that I didn't really like the way it rode because I was wanting my board. Now the second time,
Don't bellyache. You got a better wave than I did that
but
day.
the second time when I took the Moon Pig, that's when I got the mile long wave.
That's
right?
true, that's
But-
true, man.
But I was way more comfortable on the board. It did, I could surf it. So I would say just bring a board you're comfortable with. And
No
if you-
doubt.
unless you do have one that you absolutely don't want to get a ding on, because my little tip on the tail of the Moon Tail got
Yeah.
rubbed flat just from bouncing in the boat.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
And man, we're talking about a couple of our little experiences. We've been able to do it quite a few times, actually. And many, many, many thanks to Ben Reyna from Galveston, Texas. He is not a charter, but he is a guy that's got 30 years experience out there in that bay. And he has been gracious enough to have us and some other people come out onto the onto the boat. He knows that place very, very well. If you think you're just going to go and get your bass boat and roll up out there in the bay and chase some of these large cargo container ships and tankers and do that mile-long, 2-mile wave, it ain't happening. It is difficult to find, extremely dangerous. There's oyster reefs, even with experienced
I would
guys.
say the boat guy, the guy driving the boat has the most danger almost, right? Because
Without him, you're never riding that thing.
right, and then he has a lot of things that he has to worry about. The wake coming at him, the
Yes.
ship. Once you're out there on the board, I mean,
Yeah.
even if you fall and you got your leash on, you're attached. If you got a leash, you're attached to your board. And I know that some guys recommend not wearing a leash out there, but some guys do. I don't know. But I'm like never wear your leash when I surf on my longboard, but there I definitely wore my leash.
Me too.
But I will say that I feel like the person driving the boat is definitely
Oh, your captain's everything.
as much danger as anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and even one of the best in the business, and one of the original tanker discovery guys was James Fulbright. He had an accident out there, and he's the best of the best. And that is, again, who I would recommend. You guys want to go out and try that wave, call James Fulbright from Surf Specialties, book you a charter.
Yeah, he does
because
charters, man, and he's the guy.
he knows where to go, and he's safe, and he knows what's happening.
He's an expert.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
expert.
But it's kind of, there's a lot of things out in that bay. There's jellyfish, there's sharks, as we saw.
Yeah,
all-
we did see a shark. We did see a shark out there. It was
There's
pretty
pleasure boaters and these huge, huge ships. And my boy, Surfside Scotty Nelson, go check him out on Facebook. The Nelson brothers, man. He posted a video a little bit about our trip, man.
He got over a mile long wave too, didn't he? Yeah.
I'm really depressed about that. Me and him are paddling for the wave. I got some really good waves and very long ones, but I'm looking for the mile-plus wave. I've yet to get there. And sure enough, my boy Scotty, pumped, man. I'm showing him what to do. And me, supposedly with all the experience, I pearl. Board shoots out the back, man. I'm so depressed. I see him take off, Scotty Nelson, wave of the lifetime, over 1.5 miles. I see his little head going all across the bay. So this is what happens, right? You have a small window to get out of the boat, right? Get in the water, which is sketchy. But if you don't make the wave, which is what happened to you, tell them what happened.
Yeah. So if you miss the wave,
Yeah,
and then
not good.
there's a couple things that can happen. It's like you're paddling for the wave. If you're not in the exact right spot,
Yep.
then you can miss it. Right. You can also, the it's weird because you can pearl easy too on that
That's what
wave.
happens. I've been kicking myself in the butt ever since.
I would say that the wave is coming at you from behind, of course, faster than a normal wave in the ocean.
Right, because the tanker's dragging it across the shoal.
And it's a different kind of speed, I guess you would say, right? Because the wave coming from the ocean is building, and it hasn't quite got a whole right before it breaks. There's all that power, but this wave's already broke, right? Like the tanker wave, it's already broke. It's coming at you in a big wall of water, and you have to. I feel like the faster you paddle, the better chance you have of catching it, and then you don't want to be up too far. But if you're too far back, you might miss it, and it's not like you're going to wait for the next set. You might miss the whole thing. So you're very on the edge of not missing the wave, but you can pearl. So and then you're sitting
tough.
there, and if the other person, they're taking off, and the boat is kind of he has to come back and get you eventually.
Right.
So you're out there paddling around.
Or not like me, because when Surfside Scotty got that way, man, dude took off, right? And I'm like, oh, Pearl, I can't believe I'm out here. Now I'm out here. There's about, 4, 5, 6 of those breaks that you got to know where they are. And the one that he got that ride on was literally in the middle of Galveston Bay. So there goes the boat, there goes Scotty, and I'm out there on my board knowing what kind of critters are out there. Because, when Galveston Bay lets out there to the Gulf of Mexico, there's no border stop that says, all you critters and sharks.
It's very deep right
They
there.
like to come up in there.
It's
And
very
so
deep.
I'm sitting up there with my feet on the board, and they're like way away from where I'm at. And I'm looking at boats and ships and things. It was a little eerie, but that's why it's not for everybody, is it?
No, I would say you definitely have to be a little bit of a thrill seeker.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, for sure, you should definitely be,
Yeah.
an experienced surfer because I would say,
Yeah.
And then, we had a chance on a couple of those where, I think there was even one we caught where I missed the first wave.
Caught the second
and
wave.
I caught the second wave.
Yep.
And so there's a chance that you can get that second one,
Yep.
But I would
Yep.
say that you just want to really, go out with the right person.
Yep.
Go, hit up James Fulbright, get a charter. That's the best thing. You know what I'm saying? You get somebody who's an expert because you really don't know where any of those spots are. And there's different spots that could be real dangerous where they could hit something.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you could go around spending all your fuel, time, and money and never really find it. It's not just as easy as you think because there's a very, very deep channel where the ships come in and then the different shoals, and they're looking for different depths to make these different waves break. There is a couple of islands that will break, but the really, really super, super long ones are way out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's definitely a good experience to get out there and try it. It's something different. I'll say this,
I like it. I'm a sucker for it, bro.
So I had more fun there than I did the surf park. Really, it's different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll go to the surf park anytime anybody wants to
because
invite
I
me.
like the long
But,
cruising fun wave. I agree.
But
for me,
and the surf park is fun. It's just
Yeah.
it needs to be about another 50 yards.
Yeah, or in this case, a half a mile or
Or
more.
half a mile. Yeah, so
And even though the wave is slow and mushy, man, it depends because it's all about the weight of the ship, size,
what
of
I
the ship
noticed
displacement.
is as it's hit as the wave's going and it hits the different parts of the shoal, it changes the wave, right?
Sure does.
So I'm on the wave, turning. It got pretty shoulder high,
Right.
and then it went down a little bit, and then it picked back up again as it
Right.
hit another low spot or a high spot, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And man, it was the same wave for a mile was anywhere from thigh to shoulder high.
It does change, depending on how it rolls up on that shoal. And now out there you have a new, not a hazard, but you have foil boarders that have discovered that wave out there, and they'll come out with wave runners,
Yep.
2 of them. And when we went Saturday, there were 4 teams out there.
Well, and he catches.
They
man,
catch
those guys
everything.
catch the wave before it has. They catch in what we can't catch, right? Before it even breaks, it's just the swell, and they're up and down the wave. And it looks like fun.
Yeah.
But I like surfing.
They're actually a really cool group of guys. We spoke to them and whatnot, and I'm riding this long wave. Don't you remember?
Yeah, we were
that
riding
together?
on one with
This guy
them, yeah.
comes, flying over to me and it cuts back. Hey, how you doing? Like, have you seen those things? They're like a human guillotine in the water.
Yeah, it's
scared the
pretty-
crap out of him. But
yeah.
he's cool. We talked, and he skated off that way, and I faded and kept riding and riding, and the whole time it is such a. eerie experience because you're out there in the middle of the bay riding these waves produced by ship.
Yeah, they're big ships, man. It was,
Intimidating looking things. You get up close to them, you're like, golly, man.
it's just interesting how fast the waves coming at you before it breaks. So that's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things you have to get used to and stuff like that. But
And,
yeah,
and this is why it's important to go with somebody that knows, because the pilots of these ships are kind of in the know, and there's several layers of communication, as Austin and I learned. There's what's available on the internet that you can see, the ships coming in and out of Galveston Bay, and then there's another layer of information that the insiders that do this talk to the ship captains themselves, and they've been known to give a couple extra knots. And some of them, if they're not having a good mood, they bring the throttle back. And so it's all about who you know. So it's very, very tricky because we found out difference between 9 knots and 11 knots means whether you're getting a wave or not.
yeah. I mean, the size of the ship and then how the fast it's
stuff.
going is a big thing. So we were looking at how big, what the weight of size of the ship, the weight of the ship,
Yep.
and then how fast it's going. So, and then there's probably various reasons why they're going to slow down any given day because
Right.
there could be hazards, there could be other traffic,
Yes.
too much traffic or something like that. So, it is hit or miss. It's not
It's not a guarantee.
it's not a guarantee for sure.
You could potentially go out there and get one of the longest waves ever ridden, one of certainly the longest wave of your life, and you can get absolutely skunked. Am I wrong?
No, it's definitely true. Definitely true, man. You
Just about happened to us on one trip.
Just go for
yeah.
a boat ride.
Yeah, you're just going for a boat ride. And here's nothing. You're skating back and forth across that Galveston Bay. The slightest little bit of wind, and you're beat to death. It's
Yeah,
not
I
for
mean,
the faint
it's-
of heart, man. I'm telling you.
Choppy, if anybody's been out there fishing, they know how it gets out there. When, you get a little wind and you get on the bay, and if you give a full throttle, you're going to hit some chop, man. So
I don't think it is for everybody, but everybody, if you really want to do it with some
yeah, hit up
guidelines
James
and-
Fulbright,
hit
man.
him up, man.
He's a great guy and he does
no
charter.
brainer.
So
No brainer, man. But
man, well, what else, man? What else has been going on since there hadn't
Well,
been
I
any
don't
surf?
know.
We're waiting on the contest, right?
yes, I just know boards are being made. People
Boards,
are being
we got-
excited
we
about
have-
going surfing
We
again.
have
man.
a lot of orders. We have a lot
His
of orders.
mom's calling him. Hold on, he's got to take a call from his mom. I love it, Mom.
We got to take care of that. So.
Mom, I'll call
hey,
you
I'm,
back
I'm
here.
almost finished with that house, though.
Yeah,
so.
Mommy's going to call you here in a
If
few
your
minutes.
if your board isn't done yet, it's probably because I've been working on my mom's house.
Right.
We're almost done with that. So, anyways,
I'm glad that we're over, I think, the hump. So I'm pretty excited. Choppy, bad, good, wind from the east, the south. I don't care. I'm just pumped for everybody to get some waves coming.
there's
So,
going to be some surf. It's not going to be flat. It may not be pretty,
there you go.
but there's going to be some surf. We know. Melvis Presley was out there this morning.
Yes, he was, man. And so come down and visit the surf station. If you come down to go surfing, man, go see Kaylin at Culture Coffee, man. She's got the best coffee around.
Yeah, we got all kinds of things going on down here for the fall for sure. In Surfside, we got, like I said, we got the Old Guy Surfer Union.
That's coming up.
It is for sure October 4th.
Yep.
We're going to have T-shirts, hats for sale there. There's going to be some
Oh, I'm so
boards,
getting some.
boards
Yep.
auctioned off. Excuse me. There's going to be raffle. So we're going to sell raffle tickets to a whole bunch of different items.
Yep.
And so it's going to be a big event. And the best thing is the reunion. Everybody gets together and honors the surfers that we lost.
Yeah.
From the Texas Surfers.
Yeah, and it's man, it's just a great time.
And we're still going to have the bonfire in the evening. So, everybody come out, bring your bongos, bring your guitar, come out there. And
Yeah, that'll be fun, man.
Yeah, we're going to have the bonfire, in the evening. So we'll still have
Beach
all that
blanket bingo. I love it. Anyway, don't forget this, man. The first annual Fall Gala, Texas Women in Texas Women's Surfing, man. This is so cool, man. I'm really all about this, man, because I think they need their recognition. This is Women's International Surfing Association, October 25th. It's at the Surf Museum in Galveston, and that's on Mechanic Street. And, man, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You never know who may be seen there. Maybe even me in Austin. You never know.
It should be definitely a good event for sure.
Yeah, that will be. Well, man, I'm pumped about going surfing. some other things are getting ready to happen. We're going back to some guests coming on. We're going to be doing the board synopsis, is what I like to call it, because I'm going to be in a class learning to make the board. Apparently, when we make my board, KP said I can kind of help glass it.
Just go, it's done.
Just like that, man. You wave a couple hands, you glass the board. That's what he said.
That's what we tell everybody.
I love it, man. So for like $1,000, and it's like that, just like that.
Just like that, man. You get a board, man, just like that.
Well, man, listen, everybody. Thank Austin for letting us use his place. Come in, see him.
I mean, I'm feeling it's going to be pretty busy in the next few weeks because there's going to be a little bit of surf. And there has been, there goes KP. He's over there.
He's back there glassing
a board right now.
Glassing a beauty, man. Remember, boys and girls, shop local, man. Find some mom and pop place. Start buying your coffee there. Go, find a mechanic that needs the business. Very important. We just support local. I think that's important. So.
Oh yeah, we got lots of good shops and restaurants here in Surfside.
I love damn near every one of you guys out there, man. We do have one disappointed guy in the back there because we couldn't get him on the show again tonight.
Is it that time again?
Golly, is it?
I guess we ran out of time. Well, I tell you what, we apologize to Matt, but he's back there becoming KP's apprentice, and we'll see him next time. I guess.
He keeps threatening to bring Arch Manning on the show. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that. Peace out. Love you guys.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Man.